Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Top Boss Syndicate Football Picks. We are entering week 9 of the NFL 2021 season. Just to keep you posted on what's been going on, we've had a rough 2 weeks. We were due for a loss because we doubled our money 6 weeks in a row. Week 7 we lost. Luckily, we backed off a little bit. Last week we had some bad luck. We had another two-team parlay best bet double up. We won our first one. Second one didn't go so well. We were really counting on Jameis Winston and in New Orleans playing the whole game because he was our secret weapon because we had the Bucks and we needed Jameis Winston in there. Happens all the time. In this case, you know, if you didn't tune in, we had the Bucks in New Orleans to win the game straight up, and Jameis Winston got hurt. It sounds a little strange, but when you game plan for a quarterback, especially a quarterback like Jameis Winston, who obviously Bruce Arians know, being that he was his former quarterback. New quarterback comes in. Doubt they even knew who the backup quarterback was, Trevor Siemian, and happens all the time. The quarterback that you don't have film on, you just kind of, as a defense, have to read and react, and he kind of tore him up. He's a little more accurate, and we needed Winston's inaccuracy. Anyway, not making excuses, those things happen. We had some bad luck. I think we were on our way to winning that game. But anyway, so 2 losses in a row. That doesn't happen too often. Hope it doesn't happen this week. It's always possible. This is a strange week. Have a little trouble finding good edges because the games that I personally like, we have key injuries to quarterbacks this week, to running backs this week. So playing it very conservative. Me personally, I'm just going to be giving you the one bet that I'm making this weekend. As a lot of you know, we look at this as I'm looking at this as week 1, starting over. I cashed in week 6. Because I knew that week 7 was going to be a little bit of trouble and kind of warned everybody about that. So week 8 was start over, where we're going to start with our seed bet again and start doubling up again. Hopefully work our way up to another $4,400. Didn't happen last week. We started over, didn't double up. So we're starting over this week again with whatever seed money you have. I recommend $100. I normally, since I cashed in at 4,400, I would like to start my seed bet at $200 and go 2, 4, 8, 16, and so on. Maybe double up a little bit faster. But it's a conservative week. Like I said, not so many edges, so I'm just gonna back off of the 200, and I'm just gonna start with 100. If whatever you feel comfortable betting, these are by no means locks. I consider this a value best bet. I don't want to back off totally. I don't want to not bet. I think this best bet double up is worth a little bit, but we're going to play conservative and as far as the teams we're picking, and we're going to rather than double up, we're going to basically 1.5 up, and that's what I'm looking at, because the first bet on a 3-team parlay on the money line this week is going to be Dallas versus Denver. We're in Denver. I mean, we're in Dallas, and I like the 10 points giving up. I even seen that it was at 9.5. Denver has some key injuries, but as far as a best bet, I don't want to give up the 10 points. I don't like to give up 10 points. Dallas might play down to Denver. Prescott coming back off an injury and maybe some offensive line problems. I think that Amari Cooper's going to play, but he is still questionable. So just taking it conservative. They're going to win the game. So let's take the win there. We're not going to give up any points. So that's going to be our first one, and they are minus 480 right now. So the second team on our two-team parlay is going to be New Orleans Saints. They play Atlanta. New Orleans is at home. It's a divisional game, which means they're always tough. New Orleans is the better team as far as matchup wise. Atlanta, it could be a little bit dangerous, but the Saints match up well to Atlanta's strengths, and Atlanta doesn't match up well to the Saints' strengths. For instance, Atlanta can't stop the run, and the Saints were, even before the Jameis Winston injury, were looking to establish the run all the time. So especially with their starting quarterback out, I think they're looking to run. They signed Mark Ingram back, so that's kind of a sign that they plan on running the ball. So in turn, maybe they won't get too much separation as far as score-wise in the game. So I think it's going to be a kind of a tough game. I think Atlanta's going to hang in there for a while. Atlanta they're actually a really good running team. For one reason or another, I always felt like every game I've watched, if they would have just stuck with the run, they would have done fine. Maybe they feel like, they have Matt Ryan and they need to pass the ball, I guess. Don't know why they don't have that great of receivers, especially now with Calvin Ridley out. So if they go to the pass, that's okay because the Saints have a pretty good secondary. So the trouble spot I'm looking for is the Saints haven't been that great at stopping the run. So if Atlanta decides to just pound it against them, they could be successful. So little bit of an edge to the Saints there as far as we know that the Saints want to run. We know that Atlanta can't stop it, or they're not very good at stopping it. So if Atlanta decides to pound the ball, they could be pretty successful. But in the end, in the fourth quarter, if it's close, last few minutes, give me the Saints secondary versus Atlanta's not so great receivers, rather than the other way around. As a bonus, I'll take Trevor Siemian and those receivers, which maybe aren't so great, but Atlanta's defense is not so good. So we're going to need a lead in the fourth quarter, and we're probably going to have to stop Atlanta's passing game in the fourth, which is why I'm a little bit conservative here, is because I don't think we're going to get an easy victory. I think it's going to be close. And let's just be real. In the end, a catch here, a lucky break there, a flag. Flags have been killing us. So we have to be conservative here. Anybody that tells you this is a lock, we got a lot of, just forget it. You know, at least I'm making these bets, I'm telling you what to look out for, and I'm in the same boat as far as what we're betting. Finally, the third game, which I really like, but we have a few unknowns. So I really like this Miami game at home versus Houston. Now, Houston's getting Tyrod Taylor back, and I guess everybody thinks it's like the second coming because they're getting Tyrod Taylor back. Not a believer in the whole Tyrod Taylor thing. I guess in week one before he got hurt, they looked really good. But I mean, it's Tyrod Taylor. I mean, he's played for all these teams. I wouldn't say he's bad, and he's actually a good fit in Houston with their game plan. But I mean, I wouldn't want to bet on him. He just is injury prone, and he's been out of the game for a little bit. But regardless, say they do well, they're playing against a really good Miami defense. They're really good. They had some bad breaks with injuries, but were, I like to say, at full strength last week. Finally, unfortunately, they had to go into Buffalo, and Buffalo coming off a loss, so that was going to be a tough game for them. But they played really well, even though the score didn't indicate. They held Buffalo for a lot of that game. They're a very fast defense, so I think no matter what Tyrod brings, I think that defense is flying around. They're pretty good, so I think they can slow Houston's offense down. Now, Miami on offense I love that offense. I love what they're doing when Tua's in there. They're really hard to establish what they're doing. All the plays are quick releases, run option plays. In week one, when they were at full strength, man, they look really good. So I saw that last week, finally, because Tua came back. Sorry, I keep hitting this cord. But Tua came back, and what I was looking for, I seen. So I think Miami's offense is really good as far as, I mean, they're going to beat the average teams. They're going to beat. They got a good defense and a pretty unpredictable offense. But so let's give Tyrod the benefit of the doubt against Miami's defense. Say they do well. Look, Houston still has to play defense, and that defense is horrible, and Tyrod ain't going to help them there. Maybe keep them off the field a little longer, and that's a legitimate point. Defenses get worn, that defense gets worn out being on the field all day long. So, but I think we have the edge there. So I like these three teams, Miami minus 250, Dallas minus 480, and New Orleans minus 260. Play that a little bit conservative. That's going to pay $100 pays about $135 there. So we can back it off a little bit. I'm going to personally be betting just 100. I expect to have, if we win this, 250 for next week. We'll double that up to 500. Some of these injuries should get straightened out as far as these key injuries in the league. I'm very conservative bettor, folks. I don't like to give you any false information. It's not bad enough where I'm going to tell you, hey, we're not going to bet this week. There's some value here, and we're taking it. If we were working on a $1,600 double up, then I would tell everybody to not do this bet. But there's some value here. Take it. Hopefully we'll get a double up, maybe a little bit of luck. We'll double this up. And then next week, maybe we'll have something better to work with. We're taking all home teams here. I think we're taking the better teams with some small edges. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Looking forward to hopefully starting over and starting these double ups again. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. Good luck. Ciao.